The American education system needs to take a good look in the mirror and ask itself how it can be more effective. It has a PR problem. That is, most students and adults do not rate the overall experience of their K through 12 education as enjoyable, and therefore do not continue through life with an interest in learning. There are quite a number of things to change in this. One way I feel that could help this is by a much greater use of camps. This can be camp in the traditional sense, but also schools can be used as camps. I reflect back to the one camp I went to, which was in 6th grade, officially called Outdoor School. Another school I attended had a week-long trip to Washington, D.C., but we had moved away 2 years before. I was fortunate to attend schools in my primary school years, which took field trips. Field trips were almost as great as camp, but they were typically only one day. My classmates and I could not have been more appreciative of such opportunities. There wasn't a boring second in these. I'm going to describe my memory of the camp, even all these years later. Each morning greeted us with a slight chill, dew, and a symphony of chirping birds. The sounds of a narrow river rolling over the rocks played in the background, with the crackling of the wood from the campfire. The Ola factory was wide awake, with scents of breakfast filling the air. There was toast, sausage, bacon, scrambled eggs, and waffles, all being prepared over an open fire. The first morning breakfast was being prepared when we woke, but after we would assist in its preparation. Some of our activities included archery, canoeing, swimming in a lake, and various arts. We were taken on hikes along the way, passing a cave, a crystal spring bubbling out of the ground below, creeks, and different types of soils. Each of these was explained to us and how they formed geologically. We learned how to identify the local trees, birch, aspen, cottonwood, cedar, maple, hemlock, and others. We learned the uses of each of these trees. We learned how the Native Americans, such as the Chippewa and Ottawa, lived off the land, the plants they used, how they built teepees, or, if they were on a hunting trip, then how they would build short-term shelter, and how they made arrowheads. This was done by striking rocks at particular angles over and over. We were taught how to set traps and make rafts. There were biology lessons on how the ecosystem operated. We learned there was a dependency on trees, plants, and the local fauna. We learned about lichen, fungi, and algae. There were scavenger hunts and group games. Late in the afternoon and evening, we would be given lessons on outdoor survival. We were told how to survive in certain conditions, how Native Americans understood how to go from place to place, called routeneering, what to do if we were lost, how to tell directions by the sun, the stars, or even the trees, how to build a campfire without a match, and how to prepare dinner over it was part of the education. Eating became a new sensation as the outdoor air caused the foods to radiate new aromas and awakened new palettes of sensation. We would spend our last couple of hours before bed in front of a large campfire. We were told stories of the early French explorers of the area and how they learned from the natives. Then we were led into songs. I remember virtually everything I learned from the camp. There, I developed several interests that I have until this day. It might very well be the most enjoyable week of my life. I do realize that such social situations can be anxiety-ridden for some children, especially if they are extreme introverts. I think for them, the greatest gain can be made if the camps were organized properly. The camp would employ strategies in order for these students to move past their fears and enjoy the camp too. The camp system could be utilized for so much more. There are quite a number of advantages to it. It allows social skills to further develop, enhances overall education, teaches collaboration, greater connections are made, and it can allow things that are not being taught traditionally to be taught. It would be a good way to break up classroom learning. Summer vacation results in lost ground on children's education. They then have to spend a part of their school year getting them to the point where they were at the end of the previous year. This puts them years behind by the end of high school from where they would otherwise be if they had gone straight through. The decision to shorten the school year was made long ago, and for reasons that really don't make sense. Why not have a near year-round school with several of these camp-like times being held frequently? When the weather isn't good, the schools could be turned into camp-like settings. There is the question of finances, but the American public education system spends $750 billion and does a poor job with the money it spends. I am sure finances could be figured out if we invest more efficiently in our youth and build a more solid base. Then we don't have the expenses of having to take care of them for the remainder of their lives through prisons, welfare, crime, poor health, and disability. I believe my fellow students and I had a greater appreciation for learning because we were more exposed to field trips and camps. Also, the U.S. is per capita 66th in the world in educational expenditures. I think there would be an issue in this on the availability of teachers. I had an episode on a program in which children slightly older mentor the younger ones. As these mentors become older, they can help out at the camps. Another episode talks about the number of adults in the U.S. who are lonely, who receive subsistence, or who are retired. I believe we should turn our society into one that strongly contributes to our educational system. This would provide an endless number of volunteers for programs like camps. Another source of bodies would be those attending colleges, especially ones who are planning on teaching. And what of the tremendous number receiving subsistence in the form of Social Security? What if we had those volunteer for education? Another possibility is that there would be teachers who do camps full-time. In the next episode on camps, I will propose some ideas for possible camp types. Please support the channel by subscribing and liking. If you are enjoying the content, please let others know. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode, and have a great day.